It's the Crisco Kid Block Party. Yeah.
Hey, Jaleel, congratulations on the book, by the way. You put out last year, 2024, Growing Up Urkel.
Yes, thank you.
What's the feedback on that?
The feedback has been phenomenal. You know, people really enjoy the audio version more than anything, and that really touches me because that's me going into a booth and doing my thing. For some reason, I'm meant to tell stories to people. So when people chime in on chat rooms and their reviews, a lot of people are mentioning the audio book in particular. It's just a lot of childhood memories, man, from the 90s. And also, really, I think the theme of the book is just learning in life as you get older how to be aware and not just humble. There's a difference.
Being aware versus being humble is kind of like being arrogant versus being confident, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a perfect analogy. You know, when you kind of grow up in the business, something happens to you psychologically where you become a people pleaser. And, you know, as a kid, you want everybody around you to like you. You want every adult to be happy with your performance. And that starts at a young age. And I think any young performer suffers from that. And then you reach an age where you have to realize, well, wait a minute. Not everybody that I'm pleasing has my best interest at heart. And that's where you go from being humble to being aware. And it's a beautiful thing to grow into. But you take a lot of lumps along the way. And that's really what the book is about in a nutshell. It's just how to go from being humble to being aware.
You know, I've seen some of the reviews and I haven't got the chance to read it, but I'm a reader and I'm going to actually do
You're not going to read it. Get the audio. Don't lie to me.
Get the audiobook guy. I try to rotate here. But no, what I appreciate for some of the reviews is like, hey, if you're looking for behind the scenes from the TV show, you're not really going to get that. This is about his personal reflection about lessons and things that he should have learned or that he wish he knew as a child star growing up in the industry. And I want to share that with my son because he's 6. But his idea is being famous is I want to be on YouTube. I want to have my own channel.
Right.
And I want to play football and I want to be a doctor after that and I want to be a chef. But I'm thinking like you have so many options that you can do and you have kids nowadays that want to be that child star, the kid star and social media and our platforms are set up to encourage that. But is this something that you see still a space for, or is it you think the industry is more kind, or is it more like, hey, you got to protect kids in the industry that we're at now and becoming stars?
Well, now more than ever, there's a documentary on it too. I forgot what's the name of it. It's on Netflix because it talks about this rather abusive YouTube mom. Because in that space, there are no regulations. At least in the television space, there's only so many hours you can work. There are a certain minimum number of schooling hours that you have to have. But when it comes to just content creation out in the wild and, getting your upload and hoping to go viral on, there are no regulations. So I would encourage any young person like your son who wants to do those things is to define what it is that he wants to gift to the world and define what it is that he wants to learn and absorb. Does he want to be an actor? Because see, if he wants to be an actor, then I say, wait a minute, don't ignore the stage. That's a different path. If you're going to be an actor, maybe you want to learn how to sing and dance also because that makes you stage eligible. But if you want to be a content creator, hey, then I would say maybe you want to focus more on editing. You want to be able to create this content, learn how to be the person in front of, but then also learn how to edit yourself. All right. So that's become a master of whatever craft it is that you want to do. And man, the world is wide open for these young kids. Like I love people that are younger than me that are going to do it differently. That nobody talked about having a brand in 1990. If I'd have talked about having a brand, being my own brand in 1994, I mean, I would have gotten shamed by the media. Like, who does this kid think he is? But that's just how life has evolved. So I don't hate on it. If anything, I encourage it. But when I run across young people today, I tell them, hey, just make sure you're still honing some crafts and some specific skill sets that will help you along your journey.
Jaleel White, thank you for that. On the way out, I've been asking my guests for a couple of years now. Hopefully one day I'll put out a book or something. But
sounds like you got one in you.
Well, this is about basically your why, right? We all have different whys at different stages in our career and personal life, right? So as of right now, what is your why? What motivates you at this level of career and at this level of success?
Well, I think my family and my daughter motivate me more than anything. I actually really enjoyed in the first season wearing a suit every day and going out to work. My wife doesn't cook breakfast for me, but for some reason she found herself motivated to do so when I was leaving the house to go put on a suit and host that show. So I said, "Oh, okay, you looking at me different now, leaving the house." So I'm really inspired by my wife and my daughter. I love having them come down to the set every now and then and just see what I get to do. 'Cause it's like, okay, this is exhausting work. Dad's down here really putting it in. So that's my number one why. My number two why is actually, man, just affecting other people. It's a theme in my book that I talk about, that celebrity has evolved. It's no longer really about how to put myself on a higher pedestal, how many accolades I can collect, how much hardware you can have on a shelf that will collect dust. But the number one thing is, how are you affecting other people? When people see a celebrity, especially because we live in the selfie era, what they're really seeing is a reflection of what they feel about themselves. So it's a mirrored effect that's taking place. So when somebody sees somebody that they really get excited about, what they're essentially doing is they're seeing something in that other person that they either wish they had in themselves, or they do have in themselves, or they reflect upon some aspect of their past. So when I engage with people as a game show host, I found it extremely organic to just connect with people who all knew who I was, but I had about 30 seconds at the beginning of every show to make them feel comfortable enough to start answering the questions and to get them to $10,000. So how I make them feel and how I make the viewer feel at home, and people even when I meet them out in the streets, that's probably the number one reason why I'm still in the game.
You got a slow clap on that one because I felt that. I felt that right there. Jaleel White, I appreciate you once again. Growing Up Urkel. Download the Audible book or on Kindle or whatever you're doing. Get the hard copy. But most importantly, Flipside back for season 2 this fall on the Game Show Network. And any other projects you want them to go to or any other sites? What you got?
You know what? Everybody keeps asking me about a reboot, but I'm doing something even more special than a reboot. I'm actually doing what we would call a reimagining. The show that I've always dreamed of for television is a kid who goes on to a sitcom that isn't doing so well, and the ratings soar, and the entire. I would love to show the kid's experience going to public school while doing this. What people don't realize, I went to public school while I did that show. I used to go back to school in a class of 30 and go back and forth. And I lived a very, very normal life because that was what my mom was obsessed with, was getting me to college. So I would love to show that depicted in the 90s around a character that might be similar to the character that I played. But I really feel like if you told that story, where it was kind of like Wonder Years meets Malcolm in the Middle, only with the black kid at the center of a television show. I really feel like that's a show that people would watch for its longevity and not just, oh, let's see him put on suspenders again once and then tune me out. Right. So I'm working on that project with Felicia Henderson, who created Soul Food for Showtime. And, to get a showrunner of her caliber to come aboard was quite the accomplishment. Now you kind of got to share along the journey. You used to keep these things secret back in the day until it finally happened. But that's the first nugget. I got Felicia Henderson to sign on to adapt the book, and we're going to create a whole new kid and a whole new family. And it's it's not something that's going to be. I'm not retrudging the past, but I'm going to give you every bit of 90s nostalgia that you want and that I want too.
I'm smiling right now, and I was actually speechless a while ago because I was like, are we going there? We're not going there. But you gave us a gem again, man.
Thank you.
Hey, Jaleel, I appreciate you, man. Congratulations again. You can stop on the show anytime, any project. You got a home here on the Crisco Kid Block Party.
Appreciate you, CK.